like Miami. Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to 2026 and the Miami Heat Beat postgame show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, Kyle Scarlett, reporting for duty in the year of our Lord 2026. What's up, my man? How are you?
Hey, man. Starting off the year with a W. Just hoping the rest of the year follows that.
Absolutely. And what a W it was. Biggest road win of the season for the Heat. We've talked a lot about on this show how they have not produced a big road win. All the road games that they've played that matter, they've lost. They've beaten really bad teams on the road and have squeaked by against some bad teams on the road. And this, Kyle, I got to say, impressive. I know that they blew that lead late. And I always say this, home team always makes a run, right? That's just like built into the fabric of how the NBA works.
Yes.
And they held on, they won, they scored enough down the stretch given their big lead, and they win a game on the road against the number one team in the conference, a team that beat you not so long ago. And in the middle of a stretch that we looked before they started it, and we're like, a lot of this looks impossible. Now, Jovic went out in the first half. Jalen Duren went out this game, so they've had a little bit of injury luck, but they were winning those games where those guys were on the floor in the game, so we got to give them, for every caveat, we got to give them the credit. So, man, happy fucking New Year. What a win.
Yeah. And I think, if anybody else watched Detroit last season, especially against a New York team that has Brunson on it, they made runs, in the playoffs. Big runs to get back into games. So this is not uncharacteristic of a team that was kind of number one in the East for quite a bit of time. And has been winning games late, and strung a lot of clutch games together. So to come out and really just play with force, play with energy, play really be impactful on the boards, which was like rebounds win you games, rebounds win you championship. No, that's a grander picture, but rebounds help you win games. You're securing the board or being on the offensive glass and creating another opportunity. So I think, to me, that's where kind of the game was won. We'll get to them, but I think Bam and Ware did a good job of, cutting off second opportunities for the most part, and really just securing boards and getting up the floor. And while both of them didn't have spectacular offensive nights, that's kind of where the game was won and lost, or could have been in the balance of winning and losing. So I loved the energy that they played with. Not a big fan of them blowing leads. That's going to happen, as you said pre-pod. Home team's going to make a run.
Home team makes a run, dude. Always. Just one of the rules. It's like a law of physics in the NBA.
Yeah, you're going to get the crowd behind you. You're going to get, you make a few effort plays. I do think that Detroit had a few late clock shots that just went. And you're not going to stop, a crowd from getting into that. And they had a few energy plays that really swung the momentum in their direction. I think Spo, he doesn't get featured a lot on this, but him coming out of timeouts was pretty emphatic on the timeouts he did take. I think there was a board where Paul Reed puts the ball back in, and he comes off secure the damn ball. Y'all almost had a possession where you played great defense and you completely collapsed. He set the tone for them, and they seemed to respond to that. And I think that was also kind of the swinging the game back in the other direction, where they came out of timeouts and really tried to execute. So,
couple things, by the way. But I said that this is their biggest road win of the season. I think this is just their biggest win of the season.
Beating a good team.
I think they beat a really good team. Denver's so decimated by injuries, and that was at home. This was next. This was just so impressive after such a bad stretch that they played, that they really undid all the work that they had done leading up to this, kind of lost all the goodwill that they built early in the season. They kind of turn around, and again, this kind of being the cherry on top, they have a couple easier games. I know they have Minnesota coming up. That's not an easy game, but Anthony Edwards did leave 6 minutes early tonight against Atlanta. He left to the locker room 6 minutes early, visibly upset. So I don't know what's happening with the Minnesota game, and then they have the Pelicans. So, things have kind of breaking their way, and you sometimes need things to break your way to kind of get ahead, especially in the grind of 82. Shout out to CM 200.1 for the super chat. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Holding it down on YouTube for us.
Yeah, man.
He says, beating the 1 seed on the road while fighting officiating and some questionable spotations. This is a statement win. Could not agree more. It is something that I think they can build off of. Mm-hmm. They got performances from everybody on the team. They got 36 from Norman Powell. Davion Mitchell hit some big shots in that fourth quarter. He had back-to-back threes, which was really, really key. Ware did not have a big scoring night, struggled trying to shoot in the ball, but 13 rebounds, and Miami rebounded Detroit to a push, which I think is really important given how physical they are and how Miami has kind of given up some on that end. Bam, really strong first half, finished with 15. Again, struggled shooting the ball, but 14 rebounds, and obviously provides this kind of textbook defense. And Wiggins, another game where just solid. I think he had 7 to 9 points. I don't remember in the fourth quarter. Just big time by him. 8 rebounds, again, just contributing all over the floor. And then the bench, right? When the bench is successful, Kyle, they win games. And they have kind of been, during their really poor stretch, the bench was bad. Drew Smith was poor. Jovic was poor. Jaquez really struggled. I mentioned Drew Smith. Now they're getting insane production out of Jaquez again. Drew Smith is doing Drew Smith things just everywhere on the floor, defensively, sneaking in offensively, just all that great stuff. Bam plus bench was amazing today. You get 6 minutes from Kasparis, which I wish they got more. Fontecchio got 6 minutes. And Fontecchio played fine, but I wish that, Kasparis just got all of Fontecchio's minutes. And we'll talk about that later. But Kyle, it's just up and down performances from this team to give them the biggest win of the season. And like CM 200.1 said, statement win. It's a statement win.
And I think my thing with this is balance, right? For the most part, everybody contributed to them getting this win. And some of it, Spo loves to talk about, what doesn't show up on the box score. Little like effort plays. I mean, just being disruptive, deflections, just being felt physically on defense. I think that's what was kind of what I enjoyed most about this game, is that they were continuously felt on defense. Like if they didn't score, it wasn't hanging their heads. If they made a shot, they weren't like kind of trotting back into offense. They kind of moved. I think some of that has to be said for Norman Powell, who had 36 tonight. And I've said this before in previous pods. He plays grumpy. He plays with an edge, kind of like a swagger. And so whether the game is going great for him or it's not going so great because he didn't have a spectacular game if you're talking about efficiency, but he basically shot 52%. But the way he got to his shots were very much with effort, with energy, and playing with some force and playing against some gritty defenders. I think Thompson guarded him quite a bit. Cade had an outing on guarding him. And so we kind of set the tone, finished 7 for 14 from 3. Those points, and even down to the free throw line at the end, he plays with some attitude. And that's what you want from a guy who you want to get scoring out of. And, he's not going to be the best defender on this team. That's not going to happen. But I think the way he approaches being a professional just sets the tone for the other guys. And so that, I think he installs confidence in Jovic, who didn't really have a great night offensively either. Installs confidence in Jaquez, who doesn't always get to every spot that he wants to, but he made a big shot to kind of close the game out. So having a guy that not, Bam is the defensive anchor, but having somebody offensively who can like really install confidence in this young team is pretty cool. I know that Detroit was missing some people, but you play who's in front of you. So I really enjoyed watching this game and seeing each person really just put their fingerprints all over the game. Even Andrew Wiggins,
Yeah, man,
was just
huge in the fourth quarter.
There was a stretch where he scored like 6 or 7 straight on his own.
Steady.
He was torching Duncan Robinson. Sorry, Alf. He was torching Duncan every time down the floor. He was like, huh? This is who you guys have guarding me? Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting to the basket.
Miami up to 6 in the conference, tied with Orlando. Literally the exact same winning percentage, .559. They are half a game behind the Raptors, and a game and a half behind Boston, who has just been lights out. Eventually they will slow down. I think that they're 7-3 in their last 10, but Miami right there with Orlando. Orlando's going to have the tiebreaker, but kind of fought their way out. Now Philly is playing right now against Dallas, and they're up. So I believe if Philly wins, Miami will be tied again, and they will be like percentage points behind. So they'd be technically like 7th. So something to watch. I think Philly's up by 11 on Dallas at the half. So something to watch as we're live here on Thursday, January 1st, to see what's going on with the standings. Kyle, want to talk more about Jaquez. Big bucket down the stretch. Miami hadn't scored in like 4 minutes. Heat cleared the right side for him. He flows. He takes a drive. He flows into a post up, makes a tough turnaround basket. I thought Detroit did a really good job of kind of denying Miami the paint, being very quick. I think we saw the Raptors really kind of show what kind of help principles to kind of really take Miami out of their element. And I think the Heat were frazzled a bit. And I think a lot of turnovers were going on. Miami had 18 on the night, and most of them, I would say, in the fourth quarter and late in that third quarter. So the Heat were a little frazzled. I do think they were on the road, and home team makes a run and all that. But Jaquez, what a steadying bucket. I'm not going to pass this, and I'm not turning this shit over. And I think like sometimes that's what, you need a guy like that who's like, get out of my way. I'm going to get a bucket. I'm going to make a tough shot. And he made a tough shot, bro. He was turning around, fading away, made a tough short jumper. Wasn't a long jumper, but, used his strength advantage and got the basket. And that was enough. And then Davion consolidates it with the steal on the other end on the inbound, which is just insane hands and awareness by him. But Jaquez, man, winning drives, consistency all night, shot the hell out of the ball, man. He was 9 for 13 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, so lost his 3-point streak. Didn't get to the line much, but again, 5 assists. That number to me is always important when he's scoring and playmaking. You're doing the most. Yeah.
Which I think that lets you know he's competing defensively, right? So one of the things he talked about in the offseason was just like, I want Spo to be able to play me defensively. I want to be on the floor when we need to make a defensive stop and be able to at least hold my ground. And so to me, the 2 steals let me know he was active defensively. He was just trying to put himself on the physically felt whoever he was guarding. And then as far as the 9 for 13 and the 19 points, I think what I love about that, and I was hard on him last season, and I think all of us were.
We all were.
But what's been different
among us?
What's been different this season, I hope it continues, and it continues to trend upward going forward, not just this season, but ongoing, is his patience on offense. He's just taking his time and getting where he wants to go. It's a difference and I've said this, it's a difference to spin to get to a spot than to spin. And he does it sometimes where he spins and he's looking for somebody to toss the ball to because he doesn't have a direction. But for the most part, he's moving to get to spots he feels comfortable of scoring at. And he's really made himself, I think, very valuable around the basket, like really creating opportunities around the basket. And you need that when teams are going to scout, they're going to try to deny you getting paint touches. he seems to want to, force, and E. Reed has said it a few times. He just seems to put himself in the position. I don't care what your defensive scheme is for this. I'm going to get to my spot down there in the basket. I'm not going to shoot jumpers if I don't have to. I'm going to use glass. I'm going to be efficient. I'm going to try to make sure that the touches I do have are impactful points. And what I loved about the turnaround jumper was it was decisive. Like, he knew where he wanted to go. He felt what the defense was going to give him, and he elevated. He created the space he wanted and was able to hit the bucket. So, he's been really patient and just kind of, we've seen him he did it against Cleveland, right? Yeah. So he's played clutch games already this season where he's been the guy to make the bucket. And having that kind of confidence in year 3.
This is what the season's about, man. We've said, like, we want it to be about the young guys taking that step and kind of getting that to that next level. Sam Hunter says Jaime definitely should have more free throws. If his name was Jaime Cunningham, he would have gone to the line more. And then Zach Martin's drum. Shout out for the super chat. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Says Happy New Year, MHB. The free throw disparity in this game was insanely frustrating. Great clutch Triple J basket at the end. What did Cade finish with? Was it 16 free throws for him? 18 free throws. He was 17 for 18 from the line. He took as many free throws as Miami made as a team. Miami was 18 for 20. Detroit finished the night with 31 free throws. I will say this about the disparity, because I do understand the fans' frustration, and I do think Miami could have gotten some extra whistles. I do think in that second half, Detroit did a really good job, and Miami was shooting a lot of jump shots. So Miami shot 39 threes on the night. Detroit 26, excuse me. Miami made 14. Detroit made 9. So Miami was clearly really responding to Detroit's defense, was shooting a lot on the outside. It was a lot of drive, kick, or swing, open three, things like that. There was even possessions where they were using ball screens. And one of the interesting things about Fontecchio, and I tweeted about this, was he would screen for Norm and then kind of flare out on the pop. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense for him at his size. And they were hiding Duncan on Fontecchio, and Norm was like, give me the switch. Let me have Duncan. Let me pick on him. And not only do you get a poor defender that you're hiding on Fontecchio, because you know that in the offense, Fontecchio is not going to take a guy off the dribble. Then you get Fontecchio moving and kind of getting open. So even when they were using ball screens, they were doing things like that and getting open shots, because the guy on the weak side is kind of cutting in. He's making sure that he's there. Detroit has a lot of size and a lot of physicality. I mean, Beef Stew had like a gajillion blocks. He had 5 on the night. So, I mean, their paint defense was really aggressive. They were early. Their help was very, very early. Help was very early on the weak side. They were not late, and they were letting Miami shoot threes. They're like, bro, you want to take them? You take them.
We'll let you live with that. Yeah,
we'll let you do that. So that's what I'll say about the free throw disparity. While I understand that, like, I thought that Hawkins had a few possessions where he got to the basket. I thought Norm was fouled a couple times going to the basket. I thought there were some offensive rebounds that Miami got. Somebody's like, we had 15 offensive rebounds. That's crazy. Like, there were some of those possessions where I thought they got fouled, but Miami still got, they got to the line 18 times, and they shot a ton of jumpers, shot way more threes than they took free throws. So I think some of it evens out, and Cade is just relentless.
And I think to a degree, some of these shots were not bad shots.
That's fair too, by the way, by Zach Martin's drummer. I don't doubt that we were fouling Cade more than the average player, but there was a chunk of that were pretty sus. I get it, but home cooking too. You know what I mean?
And he's a star.
And he's fucking awesome.
You're gonna get those kinds of calls. Detroit fans who are old enough to know, they would say a certain player who used to be in a Heat jersey got free throw calls. So we're gonna leave that alone. But
listen, I want to tell chat, I agree with them. Like, I think Miami could have gotten a better whistle. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I want your, like, CM is like, Jaime got hit in the head holding it on the floor and they just did nothing. I agree. I thought the whistle wasn't very. Listen, we all know the whistle wasn't very good. I agree. I do think that, I think they could have gotten 7 more free throws. Probably.
Yeah.
right?
but
Yeah, like which is a lot. It's a lot, but
at the end of the day, this was
I
a
get it.
professional win, right? You want to gut it out, right? Detroit plays physical defense. That is what they do. They are physical on defense. And to Zach's point, like, he's a big guard. He's 6'7", right? Like,
yeah,
we don't necessarily have a point of attack defender aside from, and unfortunately, this is not a knock on Wiggins, but aside from Wiggins, there isn't another guy on here who matches his archetype to defend him, right, with size at his position. I'm not talking about Bam, who needs to guard bigs and forwards and be at the rim to.
And he switched. He'll switch and he'll do stuff. I mean, they doubled Cade at the end. I mean, they'd run Davion off a screen and then they would double. It would be Hawkes and Davion doubling him in a corner, which is how Detroit was getting open shots.
And I don't know if maybe this is something that I just thought about. I've noticed when a player is hot so far in the last few games, they've been efficient with their double team. Let's put it that way. Not all the time. Some guys get an open shot, but they mostly recover back to their man relatively well.
Actually, I don't know. I guess like I notice it most when it's like late game and they're like, all right, we're getting the ball out of your hand. I mean, I believe if I remember it was happening with Jaylen Brown in the Boston game. Holidays were hard to remember anything before the holidays, but obviously this Cade game, they were really kind of going heavy on Jokic, as they always do, and he's a special guy too. But I don't know. I always feel like I wish they did late doubles more, not early doubles. And I understand why they do the early double. You don't want a guy like him to get to beat you, right? So you let Green beat you. You let Isaiah Stewart beat you.
Well, Sasser shot 60%.
Yeah. Marcus Sasser absolutely fucking torched them. Javonte Green, got a huge bucket at the end there off a double from Cade, who he played really well too. 4 for 7 from the field. So I get it. I don't think they should be doubling as often as they are, no. Kyle. I think that they have too many good defenders that, like, I understand if like Hero's on the ball and you're scared, but I think part of that is like, I think part of it is like they do have positional lack of size at guard, right? Particularly with Davion, because I do think Davion finds himself in matchups that he's a very good defender, but it's very difficult for him to match up with a bigger, stronger guard, right? Like, I think that's where which is funny because I feel like the Heat have always been really good at dealing with a guard like that. And the guards they have problems with are the speedsters. Yeah. And Davion is really good at locking down fast guards, but it's just the bigger guards that are the problem because Miami's typically been very wing heavy. They have Jimmy, they have Caleb, they have a lot of guys at the wing who can help them defend guards. And even now, Wiggins is the only guy because Norman is very focused on scoring, which he should be. And they're not switching as much as they've been, although Bam does do it some. And I think when Ware's on the floor, they have to be a little bit careful of what they're doing, especially, when he's attacked and drop. Because when you double with Ware, yes, you have size, but now you really open yourself up on the back end, especially if Bam's not on the floor. So I think it's a tight rope that they walk.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I'm saying. It's mostly late stuff. I don't know that you do it all the time, and
Alex Campbell says, think the double only worked because the Piston spacing was terrible, and I think that's when they should double when okay, like, I think we can get away with it because these guys aren't good shooters. But I think when games matter, Kyle, that becomes difficult because when you're in the grind of 82, the math will even out. But when you have a 7-game sample, the math might not even out. So, especially at the end of the game, right? Like, you may have 4 possessions left. And if a guy gets open and hits a shot on 2 of them, you probably lose the game. Right. Yeah. So are you willing to bet on 2 possessions? And
most guys, coaches,
it's tough.
Most coaches are going to stay at home. They're going to stay, like, we're not doubling. We're just you're going to have to give your best effort guarding your man If he hits the shot, it's contested, fine. But I'm not willing to give a professional a wide open shot, and especially if you're talking about late games. Most of the time, your best players are out there in late games, especially if you're talking about in a series. So there's a good chance they're not missing 2 out of 4. They're going to make 2 out of 4. And there's a lot of talented guys that make shots like that on quite a few of these teams. So, them being able to answer the bell, especially with 3 guys who shot under 40% in the starting lineup, that they did other things to try to win this game. Like Davion had 11 assists, Jovic had 5, and Jaquez had 5. They led those 3 guys are the guys with the most assists on the team. So a little bit of movement from them, but gutting it out. I think with the league that is so competitive, I hear everybody kind of generalizing that the league is not equally as competitive. I'm in complete disagreement. I think there's a lot of parity each night for the most part with teams. You're going to get your best shot from any team. I think any team is trying to win games. And so tonight, playing the team that has beat up on teams quite a bit, has rung a few bells on some teams that maybe they didn't expect Detroit to be so good, and beating them and beating on a night where Cade does get to the free throw line because he is a physical guard. A lot of his play does happen up and around the basket or within 15 feet. He doesn't take a lot of threes. And he had a double-double. He had 11 assists. So he did move the ball. He did create opportunities for other guys. So to me, just being balanced, kind of gutting out wins. I really don't care if it's ugly. If it's a W, I'll take it. And I think with this team being as young as it is for the most part, you want to just get as much. Do I wish Casper played a little bit more? Yeah, yes. I'd have loved for him to just play, Kasparis to play a little bit more than 5 minutes, just to be out there, to give a little bit of size. And then I see chat talking about Jovic. Yeah, he didn't shoot well tonight.
Yeah, but he was so huge in that run that really kind of put them up big in that first half. I mean, his ball handling, passing, awareness, he was like the reason why they went on that run. It was like Bam and the bench, and they fucking took off, and he was awesome.
And they finished. I mean, they closed. I thought they closed at halftime well. Now, granted, the shots he missed, for the most part, there are some games, but the shots that he missed were open shots that he hit the other night within rhythm, and they just didn't go in. And as you know, a famous shooter has said before, it's a make or miss league. You're going to hit some, you're not going to hit some. On any given night, it could be this. Next game, he could hit 6 for 5. I mean, 5 for 6. So or 6 or 5 threes. So it's one of those things where he's a young player. You know what he's out there for. The 3-point shooting is just kind of what it is. If he hits them, I'm happy. If he doesn't hit, but he finds another way to impact winning, I'll take it. But 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. I'm not really asking Jovic to average 20 a night. That's not my thing. I would love for him to continue to take care of the ball.
Are we babying him?
No.
Are we babying a player that is out of his rookie contract? Because I sometimes feel like we are. Yeah, chat's like, yes, we're babying him. And I sometimes I try to catch myself because I'm like, well, it's encouraging that he had the 5 assists and the 5 rebounds and everything. And I'm like, 1 for 10 is really bad.
It is.
Yeah, and chat's agreeing. They're like, we are babying Jovic. I just go, are we babying Jovic? Everybody's like, a fucking wall of text from my chat is like, yes, yes, yes.
I mean, it's not so much to baby him. I don't expect for him to drop 20 every night. Do I think that's something that's possible? At some point,
what he needs to be is 15, 6, and 4, right? That's kind of what the player that we want him to be. And he's 22. Chad D-Sizzle's right. He's 22, and he's been in the league for 4 years. So, but again, I just don't want to baby him. I love him, and I think that he's played better. And I thought I found positives in his game tonight, and also he shot them out of the third quarter. the third, fourth quarter, pretty much. So.
Chat says Jovic played like he was afraid to get punched. You
Getting
know,
over a
listen,
cold. I can't laugh, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. When you have beef stew out there, there's a few players who might be.
Chat's like Poltergeist was like, I've seen him compared to Gallinari. He's just never shown this kind of scoring output to me, brother. I wish he was Gallo.
That's a very
Gallo can shoot
about the contract.
Gallo can go handle the fucking rock, go dunk off of fucking pick and roll. Like
way different.
Jovic ain't got that explosion.
No.
Yeah, Gallinari was explosive and a fucking good shooter. I wanted Gallinari, so I wanted Denver Gallinari to come here so bad, bro. Yeah, just like walking Gallo. Prime Gallo was a walking bucket. Bro, easily. Do you realize how we're going to be talking to our fucking grandkids? Like, Prime Andrew Karolinko was a problem. You're going to be like, shut up, granddad.
Shut up, old man.
Shut up, old man. Like you don't know. Prime Gallinari. Danilo Gallinari. Denver Danilo Gallinari. That guy was a walking bucket.
Hey, man. I mean, listen, I said the
Al Jefferson.
The ceiling for me with Jovic, stop it.
Jovic is just Europe McRoberts. I'm gonna say no because McBob, there was a mystique with McBob, right? Because it was always like, oh man, McBob, Bosh, that defensive lineup and the passing, it just never happened because Bosh, almost died. But, Jovic doesn't have that. Jovic has potential. McBob had mystique because McBob wouldn't shoot, but we understood McBob's limitations. But we that's where you guys are wrong. In Jovic, we are praying for him to reach a potential. McBob, we understood who he was, but we were enamored with the possibilities.
I see chat saying that he's Ben Simmons adjacent, and Jovic takes layups. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's terrible.
Chat goes, if Jovic could be Heat Olynyk, that would be awesome. Brother, I would just take Olynyk. Olynyk in this offense would be very funny.
The fake give and go.
Olynyk, Kelly in this offense would be fucking hilarious.
Comedy. We play. I think he's on Spurs. Never mind.
He doesn't play anymore. He doesn't play.
Not unless they absolutely have nobody.
Veteran leader. I don't even think Spo loved Kelly the way I loved Kelly.
I mean, I thought that him in this offense actually is.
Jack goes, Jovic is Darwin Nunez. And I don't know, that means nothing to many of you, but that's absolutely wrong because Darwin Nunez could be the greatest soccer player who ever lived, but he instead is the dumbest soccer player who's ever lived. And that's the difference. Jovic is not that. If Darwin Nunez had Cristiano Ronaldo's brain, he would be the most. You would.
I get it.
I fear for what would happen. Jet says I look like Darwin Nunez. No, I don't. That's Darwizzy to you. Shout out to Pablo the intern. He loves Darwizzy.
The ceiling for me, what I'm hoping for, the ceiling for Jovic, I am hoping for is Peja Stojakovic. That's what I'm hoping for.
Chad goes is Darwin Nunez, Michael Beasley. Now we're talking, baby. That is an accurate. Now we're talking. Except Darwin was better than Bees. But I think that's the conversation that we're having. It's like Nick Kyrgios. You know what I mean? If you're a tennis fan. Like that. That's the kind of guy. Like Michael Beasley, Nick Kyrgios, guys that are so talented, but their brain is limiting them.
And DJ, D Johnson is saying ceiling is Hito Turkoglu. I'm not mad at that.
Steroid Hedo Turkoglu or non-steroid Hedo Turkoglu?
Oof.
I just remember when he got caught with steroids, Stan Van Gundy said, I don't know what steroids they got him with because they're clearly not working.
Hey, whoa. I don't think people understand how nasty AK-47
Yeah,
used
that's
to
what
be.
I'm saying. Yo, you don't remember prime AK-47. He was a problem.
That was a defensive mastermind.
Somebody
at
said
his
Chandler
peak.
Parsons, who averages 5 assists.
Yeah,
That's just such a funny poll.
I hope the opposite of Chandler Parsons. No, thank you. But I
Hold
win for
on.
the
We
league.
said it. We said I just want him to be 60% of Pascal Siakam. Just
That is not bad. Who torched
be
the other
60% of
night?
Pascal Siakam.
Who cooked? He's had a relatively decent. He did.
Ozell goes, AK had Utah jumping.
He really did. He really did.
Oh
He really
Bro,
did.
I've never seen a dude like a goofy looking white boy like that have so much motion.
Man was swatting shots at the rim.
Bro, he's in rap songs. When have you ever seen shit like that, dude?
Tough.
Honestly, it's the best nickname in sports.
It is. It was until PG-13, Paul George changed his number and it was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
PG-13 wasn't as good as AK-47. AK-47 is so hard, bro.
Do you practice that? Cartier is already asking for you.
Jago's Chase Budinger in his prime.
No.
Well, that guy from
Budinger.
Conan, Chase Budinger, the volleyball player, the Olympic volleyball player.
No.
Someone says Jovic needs to go see Pau. Brother, Jovic needs to go see Chris Bosh.
That's it. I would take either one of those guys with him in the gym. I think him spending a summer with those two guys.
Oversell goes Jovic equals Lamar Odom minus the crack. Minus a Kardashian. Hey, no.
Well, I mean, before Jovic can see Bosh, I'd love for Bam to see Bosh. How about that? Like that's there's who needs to be in the gym with Bosh.
Yeah, Chad's right. Pandemic Pete. Let's be real. Now, Pandemic Pete, that's a funny nickname.
That's crazy.
That's a fucking great nickname. Chad goes, where should Bosh? I think Bosh should have a seminar with not just, I think Bam should go to that Bosh seminar. I think Khalil Ware should go to that Bosh seminar. I think Nico Jovic should go to that Bosh seminar. Shit, I think fucking Pell Larson should go to that Bosh seminar. And Casper, you go to that Bosh seminar too. I think Carliana says, I'll go to the Bosh seminar. I think Chris Bosh has a wealth of knowledge to bestow on these young men that would help propel them to greatness and glory.
You can't tell me, G, that if Bam had a couple of seasons next to Bosh starting, his game would not be different. If Bam played alongside Bosh,
brother, I don't know how to tell you. If Chris Bosh's lungs didn't have blood clots, Bam wouldn't be on this team.
I mean, he was here, was he not?
No.
Was he? He wasn't here yet?
No.
They missed each other though. Like it was a year apart.
No, they were bad and they got to draft Bam. They would not have been bad if Chris Bosh was playing. Remember, they were bad the first year after LeBron, and they got Winslow and Josh. The next year, they're losing 7 to Toronto. Bosh, I think that's the first year of the Bosh pulmonary embolism. So Hassan Whiteside, remember, Justice Winslow starting at the 5 in game 7.
Right.
Because Hassan went down and Valanciunas went down, and everybody went down that series. Then the next year, Bosh started off the season, then got blood clots again mid-season, and then it was over. Or was the Toronto season the second season? No, that was Justice's rookie year. So it would have been the next year. And then Dwayne left. Did Dwayne leave after the Toronto series? I'm getting everything mixed up. But I know that he had 2 seasons, and then they drafted Bam. And then Dwayne came back. Because Dwayne did play with Bam. But Dwayne didn't play with Bam.
2017 is when Bam was drafted.
Yeah.
So
I think Dwayne and Chris Bosh left at the same time, because I don't think Bosh was here when Dwayne wasn't. Yeah, Dwayne left after the Toronto series, and then maybe Bosh did play 1 more year. Oh yeah, because Dwayne signed 2 years. Yeah, Bosh signed for 4. Dwayne signed for a 2+1 is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dwayne signed for a 2+1. Bosh signed for 4. So then Bosh tried again. And then hold on, we have Basketball Reference. We can do something called Googling live on air.
Hey.
So his last season was 2015 through 16, and he played 53 games. The season prior was okay. That's what it was. They traded for Gogi in 2014-15.
Right.
Then Bosh got the blood clots. Then the next year was a Hassan year, and they drafted Winslow. And then that was the second year. Okay, that's what it was.
I will say
he did make the All-Star game both years. Shout out to my GOAT.
I'm always a little surprised that some of the guys that they've had on this team who won rings do not have like, hey, this is how I contributed to this.
Bro, he's an 11-time All-Star in 13 seasons. We don't talk enough about how fucking good this was.
Like, I mean, and they got him. He took a lot of sacrifices, in my opinion. We are still talking about Bosh, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, people don't understand what all the little things, the intangibles, is what Bosh did for them.
Can I tell you something about Chris Bosh? I'm going to read to you his games played. 75, 81, 70, 69, 67, 77, 70, 77. Lockout season, 57, 74, 79. Blood clot, 44. Blood clot, 53. They don't make them like that anymore, man. They don't make them like that anymore.
I think because of the way his game was played, I strongly believe Bosh would still be playing. Just because not now, but he would have played another 3 or 4 years because of his ability to stretch the floor.
He played 13 years. He could have played 16 to 17. I mean, he was 31. I mean, he probably could have played till he was 35.
Just because of his style of play, like he would have thrived in this era of basketball.
I think defensively, it might have gotten tough for him in a way that it is with Kevin Love, where, it's just, he would have played a lot of center. He would have been in a lot of drop. But he could have played till he was 35 for sure. Maybe not starting at 35, but probably would have been a starter until 33, maybe like a little bit 34. And then he would have had to start coming off the bench and stuff.
Him being around, I do think I said this when Ware got drafted. The guy that Ware should be patterning his game after is Chris Bosh. I mean, it's a tall order, but that's who he should be patterning his game after. Like, we're talking about all these people and, he needs to do. No. Chris Bosh is that's who he should be an understudy for.
Well, kind of to tie this back to tonight, a lot of these young men could learn a lot from 11-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, 2-time NBA champion, Chris motherfucking Bosh.
It's the truth. What do we
play?
His
His Basketball Reference has his nickname as CB4, the Bostrich. What happened to Boshy Bear? That was a Heat Twitter class. That was a Heat Twitter Classico.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
We're losing receipts. We're fucking losing receipts.
Yeah, the midi. His midi was Cruz man says his mid range was butter, absolutely butter.
No. I would say ghee. Ghee, just elevated, clarified, no milk solids, ethnic. Ghee's delicious, dude.
Hey man,
high smoke point. One of my favorite things about chat is Cartiliana really wanting me to focus. Let me tell you something, man. It's fucking New Year's Day. I've done nothing but sleep in, hang out with my girlfriend, go for a walk, have ice cream, watch this game. I really wanted a sub, and Publix fucking closed early today. And I get in, and the deli was closed, and I was just upset.
Hey, they had to give them the day off.
No, listen, I'm all for labor rights. I really wanted a fucking sandwich for dinner. That's what I wanted.
Hey, I'll tell you what, that soft sub roll is elite.
That's all I want. I had to go somewhere else, pay more money. The Publix deal is just you can't beat it.
Amazing.
I went to like 7 different coffee shops and bakeries to, for a treat. Didn't get any. I literally, one of my favorite coffee shops in Coconut Grove, Navi. I like walked in and they're like, "Yeah, we just took the last customer. I'm so sorry." And I was like,
crazy.
Well then.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you feel like some people who go to chicken fillet and on a Sunday. But today was
Except
yes, I did say chicken fillet.
I was just gonna let you ride with that. I was like, so that's how my day's going. And again, I went to Tinta y Café, love Tinta y Café, fucking closed. Went to Caracas Bakery in Coconut Grove, fucking closed. I was beside myself. I went to Panther Coffee in Coconut Grove eventually because I couldn't go to Navi either. And I had a lovely coffee. And then you know what the fucked up part was, Kyle? There's a banh mi place in Coconut Grove inside the Books and Books next to Panther Coffee. And they were fucking sold out in the afternoon. They were like, "I'm sorry, we sold out at like fucking noon today." So I didn't even get my banh mi, which I really wanted.
You're called a bully, by the way, by Poulter.
I'm called a bully. Listen, I am a pro-labor Publix, appreciator. I think they should get the day off.
Years.
Yeah. I don't go on Christmas Eve to Publix. I don't go on Thanksgiving. I get all my shopping done early. Chat says, fucked up. You got no banh mi. Yeah, dude. I really wanted the fucking banh mi in the Books and Books in Coconut Grove. I've heard it's fantastic. I've heard it's great. Now, if you are a local here, we don't got fucking Asian food like that.
Not all the time.
This is a newer thing that's happening right now. Right? So I want to, I'm happy about this. We don't have Asian bakeries. I want some shit with pandan in it. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck does San Francisco get that shit?
D. Johnson, let me live.
Oh, because they called you a serial killer for, yeah.
Nobody gets the reference.
No.
Nobody gets. There's this guy on
pollo fillet. I've never eaten a Chick-fil-A. I just can't imagine it's better than the Pollo Tropical.
It's mid. It is mid.
I like pollo. Listen, pollo was inflation-proof for years. A half chicken, brown rice, and beans. Lately, by the way, maybe they haven't raised the price too much, but I'll tell you one thing: I'm getting fucking less rice. I see you, pollo. It came for everybody, bro, and I'm getting less rice now, and I'm like,
They're pulling a Chipotle. Cartianas and peas.
Yeah, she wants basketball talk. She loves hoops, bro.
I don't know that we have. Do we have a new?
Overzeal said, "Does waffle fries slap? Y'all tripping?" Now, I don't know if you mean pollo or Chick-fil-A.
Chicken fillet? Y'all got to look up the video, man. There's literally a whole video where he's like, "I went to Chick-fil-A and didn't have my waffle fries."
Chick-fil-A charges $16 for a nugget.
Yo, listen.
This food pricing out of control.
That 8-piece is crazy.
Let me tell you, man, I think going out to dinner in the city is just outrageously expensive. I went to Osobuco on the 30th, and it was a nice dinner. I went to the one in Coconut Grove, and it's a nice place. I liked it. I don't think it was insanely good. I thought it was pretty good, and it was a really nice restaurant. It was like a fucking $300 bill for 2 people. We each had one drink. We ordered one appetizer, a fucking 2 sides. It was like broccoli and then some potato, and then not the most expensive steaks on the menu. And then I'm just like, I look up and I was like, how the fuck did this become $300?
Not including tip.
It was like $280 something, and I was like, this is outrageous with tip and everything. But still, I was like, there's a lot. But yeah, so basketball. Big win, huge win. I don't have much else to say. Other than
Minnesota next.
They have gotten some luck with injury, as we said, but you play the teams that are in front of you. Miami's not been super healthy. I mean, Bam's missed a ton of time. Tyler, obviously, although I don't know if that's a good or bad thing or a neutral thing. Who knows? I'm not. It makes my head hurt trying to think about it. Hawkins has missed time. So they've had like Norm's missed a ton of time. Or maybe not missed a ton of time, but he's missed some time, and I'm fairly certain he's played pretty hurt. Tyler has a fucking toe injury that I have no idea what happened. And it's just insane.
He's not eligible for a lot of things due to that, but
he wasn't going to get anything anyway. So Norm playing his way back into All-Star candidacy, I just want to say, at the right time. January fucking hit at a 36er.
Hey, listen, G, we talked about this when the season started. He will be the easiest 25 points per game anybody is going to have on a team. He just walks in and is like, "Yep, I'm going to put up 29."
I mean, he's averaging 24, and his shooting is down sub 40 after he started off scorching. So he's at 30. If you round up, it's at 30. It's 40. It's 39.8%. So right there.
Is he still shooting 50? Is he at 40, 90, 80 or something like
so shooting 48% from the field, 39% from 40% from three. Well, let's be nice. 48% from the field, 40% from three, and 86% from the line. So not 50, 40, 90. I think 50, 40, 90 is like one of the hardest things in this fucking league to do. And I think it's even harder now with the amount of threes you take. It was different when Nash and Dirk were doing it. Obviously an incredible achievement. I think Laurie Marketing did it like a couple years ago. Which I think Laurie Marketing, and I've always said this on the show, is like the biz, and I stole this take from Bill Simmons. He's like the biggest proof that scoring inflation is like through the roof. If you look at Laurie Marketing's numbers, they're like better than Prime Dirk. And I think we all know that Laurie Marketing is not a better player than Prime Dirk.
No.
And I don't even think Laurie Marketing is a better offensive player than Prime Dirk. I just think that offensive statistics are like absolutely like.
I mean, and it's a lot more talented guys finding ways to score than usual. Like, this is not the dead ball era, so you have much more flow to offense. Where if you aren't, there's going to be a lot more guys averaging 20 than in prior years, for sure. Guys are just going to get buckets. It's a professional league. So, yeah, that's how I think about it. At the end of the day, I don't know what they're going to do against Minnesota because they've played them well. And then the last time they played them, Anthony Edwards played out of his freaking.
Chat goes, no. Do you work on that shot tonight? Let me tell you something. I think both teams played too well tonight. I think that's what happened. Omar, one of our producers, just came and which this segment is his child, and he's like, I got nothing today. They just, they all worked on the shots that they took. So unfortunately, no segment tonight. Sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes the hoops is too pure. Sometimes the hoops is just gonna be too pure, and we can't meme on them. We just can't. Okay, chat's like, even if you don't have any clips, play the intro. Okay, well, listen, do you work on that shot?
What kind of shot is that?
No. Oh my goodness, Valentine!
No.
Whoa.
Have you ever shot that shot?
Looking for Steph. Now Draymond's got it.
What did he do that for?
Draymond.
Do you work on that shot?
Yes! Oh!
When?
It's Cody Martin, you gotta hit it! Oh!
Step back, one-legged.
What is he doing?
What kind of shot is that?
Wait. The fact that the announcer for Charlotte said twice.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Oh, Valentine.
we'll play the music just for fun. Yeah, so I saw Overzell in chat goes, play it for the love. Do it for the love.
Yo, that shot from like 45 by Valentine is crazy.
I'm glad chat likes the segment because we've been dry on segments since Brass left. So I'm happy. You guys didn't seem to like the conspiracy board. I mean, like we tried to make it a thing. Look, it's here. It's here for you to see. And we add it all the time, right? So it's an ever evolving conspiracy board. But I don't know. You guys didn't like it that much last time. You guys all complained about it. Although I typically don't care if you guys complain about stuff because I think eventually you'll like what's good. But
Couldn't afford that.
couldn't afford Jeremy Tasha. I have no idea where Omar is. Omar has left his post. I have no idea where he is.
Yo,
I have no idea where Omar is.
man.
Chat goes, where's Alf? Great question. Fantastic question. I don't know. Somewhere in West Palm Beach.
Probably had a little bit of little
I'm a little scared. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm actually a little afraid to ask Alf to come on shows. Everybody knows I'm a little scared of Alf. So I don't ask him. I just kind of lightly nudge and I said, hey, anybody wants to join the show today? Here's the link. Because we schedule. Everybody's scheduled, but Alf doesn't use our scheduling system. He just doesn't. So yeah. Chat says Alf's probably on a Pistons post game. Alf's doing overdrive, the Pistons post game show, and he is screaming at the Pistons coaching staff for not playing Duncan Robinson more. Is what he's doing. Chat says Alf's ducking that smoke for a Duncan loss. I will tell him this. So we have Happy New Year to everybody. Love you guys. Great to start off with a huge Heat win. Looking ahead to kind of give you our schedule, they have Minnesota on Saturday, and then they have the Pelicans on Sunday for Kids Day. So expect kid casters and expect us to make fun of those kid casters because they're not very good. So we'll see if Ant plays, what's going on with that. I just want to say, guys, thank you for a wonderful year of Heat Beat, and I look forward to another year with you guys and talk about the team and shooting the shit and talking about everything from basketball to Chick-fil-A and me wanting a sub on January 1st.
You guys a lot.
So just shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody. I love you guys. Shout out to everybody who donates. I don't think you guys understand the very thin margins that we operate on. And, none of us are doing this for money, but we want to keep the lights on and keep things working because everything costs money. Even the streaming platforms we use and the software we use, the thumbnails get made on Photoshop. I pay for that. The StreamYard, accounts, we pay for. Obviously, the people, the staff that we pay, all that stuff is coming from you guys, and you guys keep the lights on. So thank you, everybody who subs, who donates, who super chats. Shout out to CM 201 today. Shout out to Zach Martin's drums. Again, it goes to all the money that you guys donate and sub with. It goes right back into what we do, and we're looking at more ways to. I'm thinking about relaunching the Patreon to add to give you guys more unique content to help so that we can keep doing this as long as we can. We have an accountant that I have to pay coming up, because we're an LLC and all that. So thank you guys so much. I see everybody talking so nicely to us. Ryan Spravera says, do you prefer YouTube or Twitch donations? Either's fine, whatever platform you walk on. If you are a Twitch user, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription. If you put !Prime in your Twitch chat, it'll generate a link. And with that, you can use Amazon Prime gives you a free Twitch subscription. And we get that money. So if you use your Twitch Prime on us, we get that. And if you don't have Prime, or if you've already subbed and you want to gift subs, that helps us as well. And if you're on YouTube, Super Chat's great. Listening to the podcast, downloading it is obviously one of the biggest ways. And even just you guys watching, if you guys don't, please don't donate if you don't have anything. We're not asking. Just watching us helps us. Downloading the podcast on Spotify and Apple helps us. So anything that you guys can do helps keep the lights on and keep this going. So I just want to express my sincere gratitude because I think we all work really hard. And you guys, choosing to help us means a lot. So thank you guys. Zach Martin is just happy to support. Happy to have you guys. Enjoy the rest of your January 1st. Big hug. Cheers to 2026 and more Heat wins. Good night, guys.